Welcome, everybody, to Muskegon Rotary Club. My name is Tim Arter. I'm privileged to be the president-elect this year, and I'm replacing Ginny Sprague, who's out of town. So keep her in your thoughts as she travels now. She's out of town in Washington, D.C., so she's got a distance to come back. Our Rotary Foundation theme for January is Vocational Services Month. Today our program is an update on the Muskegon Career Tech Center. We will start our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance and a reflection by Adam Bell, if Adam would come forward. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Adam?
Good morning. I've been reflecting this week on golden keys. You might ask what a golden key is. It's the thing that unlocks a secret or unlocks something that makes it navigable for you. For instance, I don't think it's much of a secret that I am in recovery and have been for some time. When I first got into recovery, one of the first things I learned was that acceptance is the key. And I was given this little key and I carry it around this day. There are golden keys in all of my areas of life. As an actor, in my training, at one point I found a golden key that allowed me to get a grip on what being an actor was all about. If you're curious about what that is, you can come visit the Actors Workshop and learn more. But in cooking, something as simple as good knife work, the golden key was in the grip and how you hold the knife and in the motion of the wrist. It unlocked everything as far as being able to prep cleanly and quickly and efficiently. This is a long way of getting around to saying that it is leap year. And if that seems a non sequitur, let me also say that by a peculiar quirk of our election calendar, leap year means it is also a presidential election year. And by looking at the faces in this room, I can sense the stomachs tightening, the fear that we now have of our Facebook pages this year. It seems over the last decade or so, it has just become so much more contested within our communities, within our workplaces, even within our own families. Reflecting on this election season, I thought, wouldn't it be wonderful if there was a golden key that helps us to navigate difficult situations, difficult conversations at the workplace or at home, when we are bombarded with advertisements and listening to speech after speech after speech. If only there was a golden key to guide us. And I'm here today to give you that golden key. And to tell you that you already know it, because every Rotarian in this room recites the golden key for navigating these difficult times. I'm going to read it, although we say it every week. The golden key for this election season, in all that we say, think, and do, in our interactions with our family, friends, and those we disagree with. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? The most powerful lesson of recovery to me in the steps of recovery is that it's the little words that matter. So I urge you to reflect as you say the test collectively today. The little words matter. Beneficial to all concerned. Right? Little words matter. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll recite the four-way test at the end of the meeting. So enjoy you can now go back to your tables, your chairs, and we will resume lunch. We will return to the meeting at 12:20. Thank you. Meeting. An important reminder, we're about to show a video on vocational service, and while that video is going forward, if the guests and hosts would come forward to prepare your introductions, we'll have the video going as they proceed. Thank you.
We are pleased you're here. We are the Rotary Club of Muskegon, part of Rotary International, a group of more than 1.4 million individuals from around the world whose goal is to create lasting positive change. We've been doing that here in Muskegon since 1916. One of our goals is improving the local economy. This vocational spotlight program assists students in making rewarding career choices. We hope they can remain in our community and improve life here for all of us. That's why we're here today.
What do you think is the biggest challenge of your work?
So I think that something that's one of the biggest challenges is also something that's the most rewarding. So you can get very invested in the successes and failures of your clients. I want everybody to be their best. And sometimes there's only so much you can control.
So Emily, tell us, how did you get here? Tell us about your journey. How did you get to this position?
Yeah, so I definitely, like a lot of people, it wasn't the journey that I had planned. So I was born and raised here in Muskegon, and I definitely wanted to get out of Muskegon because I didn't think that there was anything here for me.
But I visit these schools once a month, and I, with some young ladies who are seniors and juniors who are aspiring to be, to go into the field of law. And for 3 years, I have been basically giving them the step-by-step process of the law school admission test, what a bar looks like, what an actual law school book looks like. And at the end of the program, which we're coming upon in about the next 2 months, they get to meet judges from across the country, across the state. Our own Supreme Court justices are going to be there in 2 months to visit them, and other practicing judges on the bench, and attorneys who work not in our courts, right? You know that many attorneys never even see a courtroom, and they get to ask them questions I maybe couldn't have answered for the past 8 months. And these ladies are so excited to, you know, be in a position that I wasn't. I didn't have an attorney in my family. I knew no judges. And so I want them to have the opportunity to be able to, let me cut off a little bit of that anxiety or that unknown about going into the practice of law.
All right, go all the way down to the third X, okay?
Good afternoon. Randy Lindquist. I have 2 guests today who are presenters. Mr. David Kirksey, who is the principal at the Career Tech Center, and Mr. Kyle Phoebe, who is our Director of Career and Technical Education.
Thank you, welcome.
Good afternoon. Myra Dutton from HGA Support Services, and I have Tina Campbell from HGA Support Services. She is our office manager and finance guru.
All the way down, Ellen.
Hi again. I'm back again with Mackenzie Jagger, who is the pastor at First Presbyterian Church in Muskegon. I had the honor of introducing her to you once before. Today she's Asa's guest and is considering joining Rotary, so we're excited about that, and please tell her all the wonderful things that we do. But she has been our pastor. She's been with us since August, and we're just excited to have a full-time permanent pastor to lead us into this new century. So thank you.
Good afternoon, Brandon Turnbull here. I have with me Andrew Meteskin. He's an estate and probate attorney with Gravis Law, and he was interested in seeing what this was all about, so welcome him.
Hello, I'm Claire Root Benson, and I have 2 student guests here with me today. Both are seniors at Muskegon High School and leaders in our MHS Interact Club, and they are the only 2 students who are going to both Honduras and El Salvador with Rotary service trips this spring. So they need a lot of fundraising assistance. This is Zuri Lebrenz, president of our Interact Club, and Victoria Guerrero, our treasurer, and you'll hear from them later.
Hello Rotarians, Dane Robinson from Muskegon Catholic. Here today I have Nicole Spangler, our new Director of Enrollment. She just moved back to the area from Dallas, and she brought the snow with her. So thank her for that. Thank you, everyone.
And I guess we'll close it out. Hello, Muskegon Rotary. Joining me today is Leanna Cornell. She has been with Earhart Construction now for 4 years and has just been promoted as our marketing manager. Please welcome.
Thank you all. We have no student guests today, but we're going to proceed with the program, and I'm going to ask Lisa Tyler to come forward and introduce the speakers. Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you, Tim. Good afternoon, everybody. I am a proud board member for the Muskegon Area Intermediate School District, so it's really my honor to be able to introduce a couple of fantastic men who work for the Muskegon Area Intermediate School District. I'll start with Kyle over here in the lavender, wearing my favorite color, purple, for me. Kyle is a long-term Muskegon County resident, a husband, and a proud dad of 3 amazing young ladies. He grew up on a family farming operation that inspired him to become a career and technical education teacher, and now he currently serves as our Muskegon County CTE director. He has a passion for our community, its youth, and its future. Today he's going to give a simple challenge that will inspire all of us to build more goodwill and better friendships with the leaders of tomorrow, our youth. David Kirksey is the principal of the Muskegon Area Career Tech Center. It's his 2nd year in his current position, 7th in educational leadership, and 16th in education overall. David's the grandson of a Muskegon business owner, son of a Muskegon businessman, the product of North Muskegon High School, Muskegon Community College, and the University of Michigan. Whatever. I'm just going to point out Steven Izzo scored his first points on Sunday, the same day the Lions won, and that was a great day. But congratulations, U of M, on your national championship. You know how hard that was for me, Jim. David grew up both literally and figuratively observing the business world of Muskegon County. Currently lives in Norton Shores, yay, with his wife and 2 daughters. In his current capacity, David prides himself as being a bridge between the world of education and the business community. And before they talk, I'm just going to say, I am so excited to be able to share again. We've done this before, but the career tech programs in this county are phenomenal. They are not the programs of our parents. They are not the wood shop classes that I did not take in Ionia High School. But I really am excited to hear an update and just really encourage you all to go and spread the great things that happened at the CTC. Gentlemen.
Good afternoon. Awesome. Hey, thank you. So I'd first like to start out by thanking Randy Lindquist for the invite. Thank you to Lisa Tyler for the very nice, pleasant welcome, even with that green and white conversation in the middle. Genuinely, thank you. It's appreciated. And I also would like to thank Mike for actually helping me understand the tech that I'm about to use. So Mike, thank you. I appreciate you. So with that, thank you for the invite to the Rotary Club. It's my first time here in the Rotary. I should go ahead and warn you, I do tend to move a lot. It's the middle school teacher in me. That was my very first job as a teacher. You're taught as a middle school teacher, if you're not moving, then the students are causing problems. So if I move too far away from the mic, somebody feel free to throw something at me. I will adjust, I promise. But genuinely, thank you for the invite. We do have a presentation we're going to go through. So Mike, when you're ready, look at you. That was super fast. One more time, my name is David Kirksey. I am the principal of the Muskegon Area Career Tech Center, and I am joined today by my dear friend, Mr. Kyle Fiebig. As stated, he is the Director of Career and Tech Education right here for Muskegon County. For those trying to figure out what that means, quick version, I deal inside of the Career Tech Center. Kyle deals with the county as a whole, and together we focus on career and technical education for the county. That is our focus. We put together ideas. What could we talk about today? We have a captive audience who is stuck listening to us for possibly up to 20 minutes. What would be a good thing to talk about? So we thought we could talk about just what the CTC does, but why not talk about the path that it took for us to get here? We want to talk about life beyond the schoolhouse. Did it. About approximately 1 year ago, Mr. Randy Lindquist, I believe, stood up here and presented this quote right here. Mark Twain stated, "Out of the public schools grows the greatness of a nation." So we in the MAISD community, we were trying to embrace this quote, and I think it does describe what we do at the CTC in pretty good terms. Now, as we review this quote, it's always really important to understand the historical context. And I should also say, I'm a firm believer about 75% of Mark Twain quotes are made up and aren't actually Mark Twain. This one is. I verified it. This is actually Mark Twain. So Mark Twain did write this just before he died. He died approximately in 1910. It's important to put context behind that quote. What was life like in 1910? So when Mark Twain was thinking about schools, he wasn't thinking about modern schools. He wasn't thinking about what we have right now. He didn't know that we would have these giant behemoth schools that are beautiful construction, absolutely student-friendly. The spaces are flexible for the students to use. He had no idea this was coming. He didn't know places like Muskegon County would be home to the world's largest singing Christmas tree. He could not have imagined that. He had no idea that students would come out of Muskegon County schools and become a star of the most popular show on Netflix, like one of our students did right out of Reese Puffer. He had no idea that this was going to happen. He didn't know that schools would be responsible for not just the learning, but the needs of a student. The schools are responsible for helping the impoverished, helping them overcome obstacles, face obstacles, and take the next steps. That is now a responsibility of schools, and he couldn't have possibly known that. He didn't understand the disabilities or special needs that we would be helping students to work through and actually embrace as strengths. He couldn't have known this. Again, 1910 is when Mark Twain died. In Mark Twain's world, that was school. Schools were a one-room schoolhouse. So when Mark Twain says, "Out of public schools grows the greatness of a nation," he's referring to a one-room schoolhouse. That's what he thought schools would be. And here we are, 114 years later, we are not one-room schoolhouses. Although, as an aside, random fact, did you know that the Muskegon Area Intermediate School District we have a one-room schoolhouse. We own it, we operate it as a museum. It's an incredibly cool place. I know when I was in school at North Muskegon High School, we took a tour of the one-room schoolhouse, and I'm pretty sure almost every school in the county, every district, I should say, does take a trip there. Now, the reason I pointed out is if we look on the left side, there is a map. If you go into the schoolhouse today, that map is hanging there. It's pointing to all of the different schoolhouses that existed within our community. That was education. That was vocational training. That was all of it in 1910. And now we think about what modern education is today, it's very different. It is a very different environment. Instead of having 19 schoolhouses throughout the community, we have 16 districts. And then we have our county programs, which I'm very proud to be a part of, that service all of those districts. So we're going to do a quick history lesson. Now, I myself was a math teacher, so asking a math teacher to do a history lesson sounds like a very dangerous move, but we're going to do it anyway. So when we look back at one-room schoolhouses, there really were three things that made them great and made them successful. One-room schoolhouses, they were an educational center. They directly addressed the needs of their community. That is why they existed. The one-room schoolhouse would focus on whatever the community needed. If we were a farming community, we would talk a little bit about farming. It really was focus of the community, and that was why they existed. They were the center of the community. Civic engagement was a big part of what made one-room schoolhouses successful. They taught people all about democracy. They taught students, voting is important. We do need to do that sometimes. Actually helped them understand their civic duties as responsible citizens. And then also, one-room schoolhouses were focused on economic improvement. We existed as one-room schoolhouses to train the next generation and prepare them to improve the community as a whole from an economic standpoint, much like so many of you do today. We're focused on the improvement for the economics in our community, helping us take the next step and improve as a community. Now, as we look through these, again, it's really important to think about the historical context. Society's changed. Things have grown. In 1903, the Wright brothers, they took flight. That was 7 years before Mark Twain died. So when he passed away, airplane was like, well, that's a foreign crazy thing. Those Wright brothers are crazy. And now suddenly in 1969, we landed on the moon. 66 years, that's incredible growth. 66 years is not very long. Yet we went from our first time being off the ground to now we're standing on the moon. That's a big deal. Similarly, 1945, very few first computer was made. Decent sized. Now 2007, we suddenly have smart computers in our pockets that absolutely blow the doors off the computing power of that 1945 computer. The phone in my pocket right now puts to shame the 1945 computer. It really does, and yet here we are. That's not that long. We're talking about a minuscule amount of time. And that's the reality of where we're coming from. A similar one, 1908, we had the Model T. 2008, we've got a self-driving electric car. That is incredible. Truly, just the growth in 100 years is astounding. We have to apply that same concept to education. The amount of growth that education has endured in these 114 years, it's enormous. It is an enormous amount of growth. Mark Twain couldn't have predicted where we are or where we're going. And yet, we're going to revisit those same three key centers of the one-room schoolhouse. The one-room schoolhouse was successful because it was the educational center of the community. I would argue, aren't schools also an educational center of the community? And yes, my voice cracked. That was fun. We can also talk about engagement. It is the job of schools to actually engage the community, help them understand the principles of democracy. Economic improvement. If schools stop doing their job, we're not going to see a lot of economic improvement. We are also key to that. Now, I'm here not just representing all the schools in Muskegon County. I'm representing the CTC. I'm a very selfish human. I've got to start with where I work, and that is what I'm talking about. I think the CTC perfectly embodies the one-room schoolhouse. It really does. So if we dive into each of these concepts, here is the CTC. So the Career Tech Center, just to explain a little bit about who we are. So we are a school, which is a great starting point. And we work with every school in this county. There's not a single high school that we do not work with at the Career Tech Center. We run an AM session, a PM session, and we bring students through and they focus on trades. They focus on a career. That is our goal. So we partner with every single district, which is a pretty cool thing. We do have 16 programs. The font is really small, but they are there. The way I like to describe it is we have programs that range from allied health, kind of nursing, all the way to welding. We have everything in between. If you are hands-on, if it's a hands-on career or program, we have something that is applicable. And as stated, we service every single high school in this county. We work with every public school, we work with every private school, we work with virtual schools, we work with homeschool students. If they are a high school age student in Muskegon County, the CTC is potentially home for them. We have 876 students currently enrolled. You know, one note that's there is other career tech centers, they're struggling with enrollment at the moment. Enrollment has been dipping over the last few years. We are going the opposite way. We're exploding. You know, we are having active conversations about program expansion. We have healthy wait lists that exist in multiple programs. For us, you know, our county has embraced the trades, and I really want to thank you because it does begin with you. If you weren't out there working in the community, our students wouldn't be inspired to do the same. If you weren't working and creating jobs, they wouldn't have anywhere to go when they left us. So they're seeing your example and they're following it. And I just get the privilege of working with them every day and helping them explore their goals. That's why we exist. So our programs are hands-on. That is our key, first and foremost practice. We don't want to just tell the students what it's like to be a welder. We want to hand them a torch and say, go burn something. Which I don't think I don't think it'll surprise anybody, but I don't think we have to tell most students twice to go burn something with the torch. They are more than happy to go do that. Yeah, so it's truly an amazing place. And obviously I'm extremely biased. You know, I guess I should have talked about myself to start a little bit. My name is David Kirksey, which I stated. I am born and raised right here in Muskegon County. Born and raised here. And then I went off to University of Michigan and somehow find myself in Kalamazoo County. I was there for 13 years as a high school principal, middle school principal, living that world. But the Career Tech Center had an opening, and this place was way too cool. And the pull of Muskegon County was way too real. The chance to come home and be in a place as cool as the Career Tech Center, it was everything. And that's kind of why we're here. Like, this place is truly amazing and incredible. I do know some of you did come and visit. We had the Muskegon In Focus group join us, so some of you were in that group, and it was lovely to have you. I would like to send a formal invite. If anyone just wants to come, please know it's an open invitation. You reach out, I'd love to walk you through and show you what we do every single day. You know, because really, as a Career Tech Center, you're the lifeblood. So if I go back, see, I'm bad at sticking to script. I told Mr. Lindquist I don't stick to scripts very well. I ad-lib far too much. This was all about the economic improvement. We're focused on, let me go the right way. See, Mike's going to yell at me if I keep pushing the wrong button. So we were the educational center. We are the center of the community, and it all flows through us. Sorry, Mike. But engagement, that's all about you and us together. Our programs, the lifeblood of our programs is the advisory boards. Every single program we have in county, there's an advisory board that runs the program. They give feedback to the program. They tell us we're going the right direction. You know, my auto service class or my machining engineering, which is the top picture, you know, my current teacher is not a machinist anymore. He's been out of the trade. And as we talked about early on, the fields are constantly changing, and we rely on our advisory boards to tell us what is current in the world of machining. You know, what are our current trends? That way we are teaching students accurately. You know, other areas, internships. Our students learn best by doing, and the best way to do is actually go to a shop and start to work. Go on the floor and start to actually put in your time. Invest the elbow grease and learn how to do the job. Those internships are lifeblood to us. Also, leadership roles. We offer those students the roles. You know, kind of like I hinted, the teaching the teachers, that's a big aspect of what we do at the CTC that most people don't think about. Our teachers are very rarely classically trained. We are pulling people out of industry because we firmly believe the best person to teach someone how to build a house in construction trades is probably someone who's built a house. They can tell you what's happening. The best person to teach you how to weld is someone who actually knows how to weld. It's a good first step. So that's a big part of who we are, and it's you. You are important that you are our lifeblood. And I will shamelessly plug, if anyone wants to serve on an advisory board, feel free to reach out because we are always looking for more members, and we'd love to have you involved in any of our programs. So the third thing that makes the one-room schoolhouse key is the economic improvement. Yeah, that's really what we do at the CTC. We are actively trying to help our students find their career. You know, come to us, find out what your passion is, and then let's help you find a career in that passion. The other thing is we are constantly keeping track of our students. We do post-secondary surveys. We're following our students after graduation, see what are they doing, you know, what we did it make a difference? Did they find a career and explore that? So if you have an interest in this, the best thing to do truly is follow us on any social media. We are constantly posting stories about what our students are doing after high school. You know, we've got recent stories of, you know, a young man who is now an engineer over in Milwaukee. We've got stories of students who have gone on to be nurses and they're RNs in hospitals. We also have this story right here, which is one we are going to play. So let me click. And we'll have someone talk for themselves.
My name is Alex Freen. I am one of the owners / managers of 2 Cups of Joe here in Muskegon. It's a breakfast and lunch shop with a full coffee bar. So I was part of the Career Tech Center. I was the class of 2014, and I was the class of 2014 for Orchard View, where I graduated from. So I am a local business to where I graduated from. My background with culinary is I do have over 10 years of culinary experience, from breakfast all the way down to fine dining. CTC, I learned all about serve safe, how to properly cook, handle food, storage. I learned how kitchens ran, how they flowed. I learned how to actually cook through the Career Tech program, which opened up doors to working in other restaurants, you know, working in actual restaurants with experience without actually having the experience. Our stuffed hash brown is the #1 seller that we have, along with our mixed berry sweet cream French toast is a big seller. And then right now on special, we have a Huntsman's burger, which is a wild game burger that sells really well. So I love seeing the expressions on people's faces when they try my food and tell me how great it is, you know, how they love this spot. It's really cool, very rewarding.
If you drive down Apple towards Ravenna, you will find the restaurant. Okay, and that is a great question. Thank you for that. So I'm looking at my clock, and this was supposed to be a co-presentation, and I've taken up like 3/4 of it. So Kyle, I'm extremely sorry. If you can't tell, I could talk about the CTC all day because the place is truly incredible. But I will censor myself and let Kyle talk about what is happening county-wide. But thank you, everybody. Truly appreciate it.
Isn't it great that someone found their home again? Welcome back, David. So with homes, you have doors. A couple of things that I want to highlight to all of you is right in front of you on this screen about someone that opens a ton of doors, and that's what you do as Rotarians. But in particular, we have our lead person, Randy Lindquist, is a Rotarian that I think took the basic principles of the four-way test and said, let's think bigger and let's do better for our county. You heard David, the Career Tech Center is full. And we have 22,000 some students that still need to make sure that they can find their career, but can they also find it right here in our county? So with that being said, I had the honor and privilege of serving in David's role and moved to this new role as a Career and Tech Ed Director, which I'm still trying to figure out what a director does, because it's supposed to give direction, but yet it's all about relationships and what we do. So you're going to see in front of you is talking about Kickstart to Careers. Partnerships and relationships. You have something key. We have young people every year enter the excitement of that one house or one room schoolhouse called kindergarten. But we also have parents that believe and want to be part of the learning. So what if you put a movement together called Kickstart to Careers with our community foundation, and every kindergartner gets $50 put into a savings account? Yes, we're teaching young people to save as kindergartners. And they get a chance. We have, we're in our 6th year of this program, or they're soon to be 6th graders. So 6 years from now, they'll have a savings account that they'll have a big check when they graduate to put right into the economic growth of our county. Buying a car, maybe paying for car insurance, those kind of things. We have career specialists that work in grade levels, all the way K through 12, to spread the message to help David out. My role as a director, remember I said I'm figuring it out, is to support David and help students find what they need to do through a dynamic team that you'll see that they put internships together, work with local schools, and we have the Muskegon Promise. And the Muskegon Promise is for students in career and tech ed and for our general ed to pursue what it's given is a promise that they have inside them to be their very best. But how can we do that together? I couldn't have it better than our reflection. And if this was not set up, I did not talk to your fellow Rotarian, but he talked about golden keys. Well, guess what I have for all of you? Yep, go find it on your table. I'm giving you full permission. Get out your phones. In education, you don't tell people to get out their phones, and I'm telling you, get out your phones and find this. Look what it says, an open door. You have the golden keys. And I want you to help and see what this happens. You're going to flip over. Now that you got your golden key, yes, you can turn it over, and look what you see. Go scan that on your phone. I'm seeing some of you are being very diligent and haven't got out your phone yet. It's okay. I'm giving you permission. Use your phone. My boss said it's okay. You can use your phone. Go ahead and click on that QR thing, and you're going to find more about what we do to go beyond to help career development. So I want you to click on that and be part of our geographical informational system. Put your story in so we can connect to more people, more students can know about you. So with that, your four-way test, is it fair and beneficial for all? Is it telling the truth? These are the things that we do every day for our county, and it's an honor and a privilege to serve. So with that, I'm supposed to turn it back to someone else, and they're telling me I'm over time. So I'm probably going to get the hook. But don't forget your open door. Fair? Thank you. Hey, if we're over time, does that mean we have less room for questions?
No. I have a question. I know back in the day, the career tech programs were handicapped because industry, with their great machinery and equipment, and was advanced far beyond the budget of the regular career tech programs. What's the situation today?
That question is wonderful. I should say we have an incredibly generous community. So we have a very healthy millage that does support the Career Tech Center. So because of the generosity of our community through that millage, the machinery in our classrooms is advanced. We try to stay as cutting edge as we can. If it is on the floor of industry, we want it in our classrooms. It doesn't make a lot of sense to teach students how to do, use a certain lift that is never actually used in a mechanic shop. So we try to stay on the cutting edge. And it's really truly due to the generosity of our community and that millage.
Over here.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, Kyle.
Hi, friend.
Being somewhat familiar with the Career Tech Center and its travails over the years, one of the struggles is to have persons of color involved, and so I'm wondering how the plans are going for a CTC South, as I called it over the years, that it never went anywhere. How's that coming along?
You can make Randy answer that.
Yeah, you notice how he puts me in an awkward spot between expansion and my boss sitting right over there, but the question is this, is the answer. It's through finding what students want to do. And through our educational development plans, all 8th graders in this county, at one time, we had 0 completion of knowing what our students want to do. And now we're up to 8 out of 10 students or so knowing what they want to become and do. So with that being said, each student, doesn't matter race, gender, or anything else in between, what matters is what their passion to do, and we build programs to location where they need to be. That's part of what Randy wanted us to go beyond, and that's part of why our roles were split, so that I can work from the county side base while David continues to grow the center as a core of who we are in Muskegon County. So I hope I answered your question. The answer is yes.
Can I add? So I'm going to add a little bit. So I think it comes down to intentionality. So your point is very valid, and we have to be intentional in what we do. So for me, I said I came from Kalamazoo County. The school that I was high school principal of, there was no majority in terms of race, like true majority. We were 48% white, and then the percentages began to dip down per group. Diversity is a beautiful thing. When you spend time in a district like that, you fall in love with the differences. Like, truly fall in love with the differences. And what I learned from my experiences in Kalamazoo, I was there for 13 years in that district, you have to be intentional. Every student has different motivations. Sometimes students have roadblocks that are preventing them from accessing a place like the CTC, so it comes down to intentional conversations. Literally just this morning, I was in a meeting with the leadership team of a different district, so a district where there is good healthy diversity. Trying to identify what roadblocks are preventing students from coming to the CTC and how can we help clear those roadblocks. Obviously, that's a long-term conversation, but all conversations start with one word. And we've started those conversations with many local districts trying to break down barriers and open doors. In terms of the CTC South, that is a much bigger conversation than this guy. So I'm just going to yield to them on that one. I will say my building, I guess we'd call it CTC North in that scenario, is, again, I'm very biased, but I positively love it. I really do. Okay.
Did the CTC used to be for adults as well, for training?
Thank you for bringing that up. In our current programming, part of our roles being split through is we have what's called Linked Muskegon, which is for our students to pursue who haven't gotten their high school graduation yet and get their GED and go 2 nights a week at the center. So Monday and Tuesday night for 3 hours. They're going through certain programs that are guaranteed partners of companies that want to hire the adult students right out of the program. So we have a whole nother, I'm going to call it shift of time for our adult learners to pursue, and that's through Linked Muskegon is the name of our program. And that's partnered with the adult ed partnerships of the sending districts.
Wonderful presentation. Sometimes it's important for students to get exposure to different opportunities. For the trades, when a student expresses their interest in that, they're able to pursue it. But oftentimes the hindrance are parents, because parents think that the trades is a fallback. How does CTC show parents that the construction jobs, the manufacturing jobs that maybe they had is quite a bit different from what their children would have?
That's an incredible question, because you're spot on. It's, sometimes we have countless exposure opportunities for students. Tomorrow, I've got a school district that's bringing every single 10th grader to my building. We walk through every 10th grader in this county, and they are exposed. We have middle vision opportunities that Kyle had up on the screen. That's middle school students who are getting exposure to the trades. At the end of the day, sometimes that student can be passionate about wanting to come and explore, being an electrician or being something else, and a parent is going to block it. There is that lack of understanding. I think part of that comes down to some of Kyle's work in the community. She's not talking today, but some of what Megan does, it's intentional exposure starting in kindergarten. We have to help parents understand that, my student wants to go into construction. That's not a bad thing. What that means is my student's active, really good with their hands, and likes to be outside. That job is probably great for them, and it is a career. They can make a lot of money in that. They can go to college if it's right for them, and if it's not, the trades are a wonderful home. But that stigma is a real thing, and it is a generational stigma that requires a lot of intentionality and breaking. And truly, I'm a firm believer, like I said a minute ago, it all starts with one word. We got to start the conversation. And so some unique things we've done is we've, starting this year, started to put ourselves in unique locations. I'm the principal of the Career Tech Center. I have been at local high schools having a table for parent-teacher conferences. I'm simply there, so we are normalizing it for the parents. We were at back-to-school events, K-12 back-to-school events, and again, I'm there not expecting any kindergartner to come talk to me, but we're just normalizing the trades. It's intentionality. I hate to keep repeating that word, but intentionality is what we do.
And I think it's through career development, every grade level having an opportunity to see what careers are out there and let them go explore and see and do. That's why I can't stress this enough. Help us open the door, fill that out on the back through so that we can keep telling the story and show what this county can do for every individual. And why do I feel our person's ready for us to go? So,
We got another question.
but I think we have another one.
Just one last question.
This is very quickie. Rotary has been involved at the Career Tech Center through mentoring. I have been involved personally since the beginning of my career time in health arena. I give you credit for helping our students find their way, and I am thankful for you. Thank you.
Well, I would like to thank you for your willingness to take on students. As I said during the presentation, you are all the lifeblood to what we do. If you don't open the door to our students, they don't have the opportunities. So thank you for taking in our health students, and I'm going to stop before I get shooed off. Thank you very much for allowing us in here today. It was great to be with you.
Thank you. Great job. Kyle and David, thank you so much for a great presentation. I think we often hear about the Career Tech Center, but don't quite know what it has been and what it's evolved to. So we want to acknowledge and appreciate your presentation today, and as a part of that, we want to let you know that we're making a contribution to Hand Wash, which is a cooperative initiative between Terra Nueve in Haiti and Champion Rotary District 6290, which is our district, to provide clean water, sanitation, and hygiene in rural areas of Haiti. So with that, Mike, I'll ask you to put the birthday screen up, if you wouldn't mind. We want to acknowledge the birthdays this coming week, and Dwayne Schechter, January 20th, Kate Scarborough, January 20th. 20th is a big day, isn't it? Brandy Carlson, 20th. Samantha Scott, the 20th, and Steve Dix, January 23rd. As a part of that, we used to have people come forward to provide a $10 gift in acknowledgement, and if you would do that after the meeting to Kim up here at front, we'd appreciate it. We have another video spotlight, or not? Okay, if you would roll that out, Mike, I appreciate it.
My name is Jeanette Hoyer. I am the president and CEO of Goodwill Industries of West Michigan, and I joined when I got that position, and so I think I've been a part of Rotary since 2017, so it's been a little over 6 years. I think for me, vocational service is just the service I do through the work I do. And I'm really fortunate because I do work for Goodwill Industries of West Michigan, and our entire mission is to change lives through the power of work. Our vision is that everybody has a pathway to meaningful and sustaining work, to meaningful and sustaining employment. And so that means that this is everything that we're about. So for example, when we work with people who are returning from prison and jail, some of those folks come, for example, without any identification, which is the first step, right, in getting a job and finding employment. And so we'll help them get their identification, for starters. They may come out without appropriate clothing to do interviewing with. And so we'll help them get the clothing they need. They come out without knowing how to really talk about their criminal history in an interview, right? And so we help teach them how to address that in an interview. And then we work with them to find places that they might apply. And for the most part, most of that employment happens outside of Goodwill. But we are also really good at this point at hiring folks who are coming out of prison and jail after a really lengthy sentence. We have staff members who were in prison for 20, 30 years and who are now employed. In fact, I'm thinking of one person right now who has been promoted twice and is now actually in a leadership position in our organization after having been in prison for several decades.
Very nicely done. At this time, we are going to be inducting 3 new members, and if Pete DeBoer, John Rupert, and Jim Fisher would come forth with the inductees.
Who's going up first?
We're going to have to, with 3 inductees, we're going to have to move pretty tight across the screen here. You want to help me with that, Mike?
Oh, good afternoon, everybody. Sorry, I'm just bringing up my bio. I told Brad I was going to try to memorize it. Didn't happen. So we have Brad Hastings. Brad is the Systems Advocacy Manager at Disability Network West Michigan, where he's been since the spring of 2018. Brad's primary job responsibilities are to work with disability advocates, business leaders, and local governments to improve accessibility, provide technical assistance, and community education on disability-related topics. Brad is a lifelong Muskegon County resident and is a graduate of Reese Puffer. Thank you. He's also a graduate of Michigan State University. There you go. Thank you. Little payback, right? Yeah. He earned his bachelor's degree in anthropology with a minor in philosophy and law. Prior to his time at Disability Network, Brad spent 5 years as a community food programs manager at True North Community Services, where he coordinated an emergency food program. Brad is a certified ADA coordinator and has completed over 200 hours of training on the ADA Act. Currently, Brad serves as the co-chairperson for the ADA Michigan Committee, leads a collaborative group on accessibility for Disability Network of Michigan, is a member of Trainer Leadership Network for ADA National Network, and my favorite is a member of the Lead Muskegon Giving Circle Steering Committee. He also serves on Muskegon's Downtown Development Authority Board. Personal time, Brad plays trombone for Flex Decibel, enjoys reading, disc golfing, going to the beach, and traveling. Brad and his girlfriend of 5 years, Ashley, own a home near downtown with their dog and 2 cats. So welcome, Brad, everybody.
Okay.
Happy New Year. I can still say that. John Rupert, Route 31 Credit Union. I want to introduce you to Nick Green, the latest Rotarian here at our Muskegon Club. Nick has an associate's degree from Grand Rapids Community College and is pursuing a bachelor's in integrative studies with a minor in psychology from Grand Valley State University. In his time on Earth, he has tried to make an impact however he can. He enjoys working with youth sports program. He volunteered in Haiti after the earthquakes in 2010 and has hosted fundraisers for various organizations and individuals attached to veterans, homelessness, and cancer research. He has been married to his wife, Lyndon, for 13 years. They have 3 children together and recently moved to downtown Muskegon. In his free time, he enjoys photography and art, beach boat days, and exploring the Upper Peninsula with his family. Nick is fulfilling another passion of serving our business community in his role as a business development officer at Route 31 Credit Union. He's been with us for 9 months. He is looking forward to finding opportunities to serve in the community we create together within the Rotary Club of Muskegon, and he thanks you for being a part of the chapter in his life.
Good afternoon. I am tickled to introduce to you Scott Rudvoets. Scott is a native of Midland, Michigan, and he spent nearly half of his life living and working in Canada. He came to Muskegon almost exactly 2 years ago to be with his partner Liz and to join his father who lives in Montague. Scott spent most of his career running small to medium-sized businesses. He has degrees in naval architecture and marine engineering from the Webb Institute of Naval Architecture, and also has degrees in management science and mechanical engineering from MIT, the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. I want to just share a little bit about Scott's volunteer activities because he's going to be a very active Rotarian. He has a long history of volunteer activities and eager to get more involved in Muskegon. In Canada, he was a board member for 2 manufacturing associations that work to share best practices and influence government policy. He was part of a small group that supported a Syrian refugee family and has made 2 trips to Guatemala for volunteer construction projects. He's been active in community theater for most of his life and is a longtime amateur guitar player, another musician, and collector. He's currently active with the Muskegon Yacht Club and Harbor Unitarian Universalist Congregation. He's an avid sailor, power boater, cyclist, and yoga enthusiast. He has 2 adult children and 3 grandsons, all living near Scottsdale, Arizona. Welcome, Scott Rudvoets. Right, Scott.
If I could have the inductees and their sponsors move over, if you could gather here. We got a larger group today. Fellow Rotarians and honored guests, on behalf of the Muskegon Rotary Club, it is my privilege to induct 3 new members today. Brad Hastings, Nick Green, and Scott Rudvoets. You have been chosen for membership of the Muskegon Rotary Club because your fellow members believe you to be worthy representatives of your profession and that you possess the qualities that will help you exemplify the true spirit of Rotary in your public, business, social, and private lives. By joining Muskegon Rotary Club, you become part of a worldwide organization of business and professional leaders, united in fellowship and dedicated to encouraging and fostering the ideal service and high ethical standards to help create goodwill and a more peaceful world. Because you are a member of Muskegon Rotary Club, you will be welcome to join the fellowship of any Rotary club around the world. Membership in Rotary is an honor and a privilege. With this privilege, there are obligations. The Muskegon Rotary Club asks you to attend the club's meetings regularly, to perform your share of club service, and use your knowledge and talents to help Muskegon Rotary carry the principles of Rotary into the daily lives of our Muskegon community. Do you accept these obligations of membership?
Yes.
Yes, they have agreed. I'm now going to hand pins to each of the sponsors and ask them to take them and present them to the inductees. On behalf of the Muskegon Rotary Club, I am pleased to have asked your sponsors to give these Rotary pins to our fellow Rotarians and the community. You will be able to be recognized by these pins. Please wear your pin with pride. We also will present to you in a moment a plaque displaying the ideals of Rotary, a copy of the four-way test, and a membership directory. I'll hand these out right now. If you'd each take one, I'd appreciate it. There, we're all set. Finally, I have a challenge for you. My challenge is for you to share the gift given to you by your sponsors, Pete DeBoer, John Rupert, and Jim Fisher. I ask you to invite another person of good character and commitment to Rotary's motto of service above self to join our club within the next 6 months. By sponsoring a new member, you will share the honor of becoming a Rotarian. Do you accept this challenge? Thank you. Muskegon Rotarians, please rise. Brad Hastings, Nick Green, and Scott Rudverts, on behalf of the Muskegon Rotary Club of Muskegon, I formally admit you to membership and welcome you as members of our club. Fellow Rotarians, please recognize the newest Rotarians in the world, Brad Hastings, Nick Green, and Scott Rudverts. Thank you very much, gentlemen, and you can proceed to your seats. Thank you. At this time, I call Meredith Smiley forward to give the next 3 spins of the Muskegon Rotary Wheel.
Good afternoon, Rotarians. I will try and make these fairly quick, although it will be painful for a few who will exit our contest today. So go ahead, Mr. Vogus, and give us a spin. We will crown 2 individuals with Paul Harris Fellow Awards. Oh, Pam Babbitt. At least I'm not sitting next to you today, so you can't hit me from far away. So Rotary in action. My Rotary. The heart of Rotary is our dedicated members who share the ideals of service, friendship, diversity, integrity, and leadership. Rotary clubs bring together people across generations who wish to create lasting change in the world, in their community, and within themselves. Rotary and Rotaract members around the world strengthen their connections to friends and neighbors, taking action through service. From big cities to rural villages, Rotary is changing communities like ours. We have 244 members, plus 3, since October. Our club was chartered in 1916, and we are the home of Love Lives Here. And we do 3 fundraisers, the Seaway Run, Parties in the Park, and Harvest Fest. And we have an award-winning Rotary in Motion RIM newsletter. And we also have random sock contests and other Facebook celebrity contests. So thank you, Pam, for being a wonderful part of our family and participating. Mr. Vogus. Oh, Samantha Scott. Thank you for your participation, Samantha. This slide is People of Action. We connect passionate people with diverse perspectives to exchange ideas, forge lifelong friendships, and above all, take action to change the world. We work differently, service above self. We see differently. Our multidisciplinary perspective helps us see challenges in unique ways. We think differently. We apply leadership and expertise to social issues and find unique solutions. We act responsibly. Our passion and perseverance create lasting change. We make a difference at home and around the world. Our members can be found in your community and across the globe. A global network of 1.4 million neighbors, friends, and leaders volunteer their skills and resources to solve global issues and address community needs. So thank you for participating, Samantha. And one last spin of the wheel. Oh, Kathy Moore. Is Kathy here today? I didn't see her come in. Okay. This one is providing clean water, sanitation, and hygiene, right up Kathy's alley. Clean water, sanitation, and hygiene education are the basic necessities for a healthy environment and a productive life. When people have access to clean water and sanitation, waterborne diseases decrease. Children stay healthier and attend school more regularly, and mothers can spend less time carrying water and more time helping their family. How does Rotary make this happen? Through water, sanitation, and hygiene programs, Rotary's People of Action mobilize resources from partnerships and invest in infrastructure and training that yield long-term changes. Rotary provides $13.7 million in funding across 187 grants to support clean water, sanitation, and hygiene programs. So thank you, Kathy, for participating, which, if you'll pull up the wheel, we'll take a look at our last two individuals. Mr. Fisher and Mr. Fethke, you are now award winners of Paul Harris Fellows. You are able to accept these awards on your own behalf, or you can invest them in our Rotary community or the extended Muskegon community, so those people of your choosing, and I'll be in touch with you shortly, and stay tuned for March Madness and another chance to win a Paul Harris Fellow.
Thank you, Meredith. At this point in time, I know we're running a little bit long today, but we do have a few announcements. If those giving announcements, if you'd please come forward. While they're coming forward, I wanted to let you know that there's Rewind will meet tonight at 6:15 at the Delta. And also wanted to let you know that Pours for Community are going forward this spring. One of the events we're going to do is to have a trivia night this year, and I'd be interested in, after the meeting, if anybody would be interested in 2 people. I'm looking forward to help coordinate that event. At this time, though, we'll turn it over to Nancy.
Hi, everybody. Nancy McCarthy here. We're on a time limit today, 2 minutes, so we got to make this fast. Thank you, though, to Adam Bell for that golden key. It's a wonderful segue into our Braver Angels workshop that's coming up. A real good opportunity for all of us to just gain some better skills in terms of discussing difficult issues and maintaining respectful conversations and, focusing on relationships rather than our differences. So that's going to be happening February 23rd, 8:30 to 11:30, being held at the Norton Shores Library Community Room. On your tables today, you'll find these flyers. You can either register through the QR code, or you can go to the website and register there. Now, I have been told that as you register, this is a free workshop. There's no cost to you, but they do have something on there about donations. So they're saying 15 or 30 or whatever. You don't need to do that. If you do choose to do that, those donations will go to Braver Angels. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Sarah Rinsma-Siebinga here. So the DEI committee is working with a collaborative of other partners, and I think Nancy mentioned this at our last meeting last week, in conjunction with the Great Michigan Read, which is a program of the Michigan Humanities, and is this year featuring the book Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Booley, who is a native author from northern Michigan. So we have 2 updates and a request. The updates are this. First of all, Doug Wood put together an application which was submitted and approved to Michigan Humanities. So Rotary is now an official partner of Michigan Humanities Great Michigan Read. Thanks, Doug. And so we're going to be getting like 20 or so books or so that will be offered to Rotarians for free in the coming weeks. Second update, we have secured Angeline Booley to come to Muskegon. Yeah. So April 17th, she will be coming. More details about where and when, what time, but we're excited about that. And then the last is just a request. So we would really like to do a program in advance of her coming to Muskegon. So that is a heads up to the programming committee before April 17th. And we'd also love to invite anybody who is of Native ancestry to help us plan for that. So if you or anybody who's not here, maybe listening online, or somebody that you know is of Native ancestry, talk to Doug, Nancy, or I, or send us an email. We will be here after the meeting for a few minutes too if you wanted to chat. We'd love your involvement. Thank you.
All right. Hi, guys. I am Zuri Lebrenz. I am the president of the Muskegon Rotary Interact Club, and I am going on both the Honduras and the El Salvador mission trips this spring, and I wanted to first off thank you guys for supporting and donating the money to help me go.
My name is Victoria Guerrero. I'm the treasurer of the Muskegon Interact Club. I'm also going on both those trips, and a thank you as well. So our first announcement is our blood drive. We're holding a blood drive at Muskegon High School with the Red Cross, and we're really counting on your support. So we need 50 appointments. That's the goal. It's important that there's a lot of reasons someone may not actually be able to donate the blood, so we want to ensure that we get as many appointments as possible. So again, it will be at Muskegon High School. It will be in the cafeteria on February 21st from 12 to 6 p.m. So if anybody's interested, it will be in the RIM newsletter for a link for you to sign up.
The next thing I want to bring up is that we are hosting a spaghetti dinner at Lakeside Cafe. There is a yellow and green flyer on the tables that give all the information, but it is February 5th from 5 to 7 p.m. They have gracefully let us use their dining hall, and we will be there. The cost is $12.99. We will be there to help show you and tell you about our drives, about the trips.
And just as another quick reminder, the chili cook-off, so the proceeds are going to go towards us to help the supplies. So we're really counting on you guys. So $10 a ticket on February 13th. Please put it on your calendars, and thank you again.
Thank you. The kids and adults at Muskegon High School doing a great job with that Interact Club. Ed Hendrickson, or who has? Would you handle the raffle for us today? What will be the first one? $490. Do we have a winner, Ed? Yeah. Oh, Doc is the winner today. Great. $10. 443. Boy, I think they knew we were running short on time. We got winners right next to each other. Five, two, three. Well, that worked out well. Next week's program is Grand Valley State University's president, Wilhelmina Mantella. She'll present a great program. Please tell those that might be interested in Grand Valley. Now, if you would please rise to recite the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and friendships? beneficial to all concerned. Thank you all for your attendance, and the meeting is adjourned.